Welcome to my channel. This is Jay Mancini, where we keep the wheels rolling and the cash flowing. And now you guys know that we do have a great video for you today. This video is the Q&A. Guys, I know that you've been sending us comments. We greatly appreciate the comments, the feedback, guys, the subscriptions, guys. I know you guys are starting to subscribe. You guys are out there watching. I hope you're finding this content valuable. So once again, don't forget to subscribe, like and subscribe, guys. We appreciate your support and we want to continue to drop the content and give you guys value. So today we're going to be doing some Q&As. So hopefully not only can we answer one person's question, but a lot of individuals out there that probably have the same questions. So make sure you stick to the end of the video and listen to the Q and the A's so you can get some great info. All right, guys, we're going to dive in and we're going to get right into it. This is actually sent via email. The first question's from Richardsons Raul. I hope I'm pronouncing your last name correctly. And the question is, how are you doing? First and foremost, it says, how are you doing? My name is Richardson Raul. I'm an owner-operator in the box truck business, okay? It seems like the logistics market is down at the moment. So I would like to come to the dump truck side of it and haul sand back and forth for the city or the private sector. I'm reaching out to you so you can guide me. I'm not sure, but he's in Brockton, and it says here, planning on moving to Sugar Land, Texas. Well, first and foremost, Richardson, I hope that everything is going well for you, my brother. And before you come down in the greater Houston area, like I've told guys in the past, my personal suggestion is make sure that you do a little bit of research. It is a little different here in the greater Houston area in general, in the Texas area. So make sure you come check it out, that you like what you see before you come out here. But going to your, diving into your question. So if you do make it out here and you do like what you see and you plan to move out here to Sugar Land, by the way, is a great area, just to kind of give you some good positive feedback. One of the things that I can tell you right off the back, if you do end up moving here, okay, if you plan to get in the dump truck business, I know that you guys that watch our content have heard me say this over and over and over. But guys, I'm going to continue to say it because it's crucial. First and foremost, Richardson, make some contacts down here, man. Make some connections, okay? Because if you don't, it's going to take you a while to get up and running, okay? In the dump truck business, it's just like any other business. So make some contacts, make some connections when you're out here. You know, the more connections you make, the more relationships you build, the easier it's going to get for you to get up and going when you do start the dump truck business down here. Obviously, you're going to be new to the dump truck business, so that's why it's important and crucial for you to make those connections. That's number one. Now, number two, as far as hauling sand, yes, we do a lot of hauling sand here in the greater Houston area. All right. Now, to answer the question for the cities, hauling for the city here in the greater Houston area works the following way. Now, I'm not sure how it works in your city, but in the greater Houston area, it works like this, okay? If you're going to haul sand for the city, you actually have to be working for a general contractor. The way it works is general contractors get the contract with the city, okay? So remember, you're going to be in the trucking business. So you're going to have to actually be hired on by a general contractor. So you're kind of like a sub, okay, or a supplier. You'll be hired by a general contractor that is hired or doing the work for the city. Just to kind of give you a heads up how that works. So you would have to, again, make contacts, build relationships with some general contractors, which means you may knock on some doors first, all right? Again, just trying to give you some heads up, do some preliminary homework, okay? If you're going to do on the private sector, no problem, okay? Private sector, again, kind of, you know, going back to what I call building relationships, like I'm saying, doing some networking. You can start doing that like right off the bat. One of the things I would do is I would start contacting some of the local brokers. Why? Because that's going to be the easiest way for you to get your foot in the door. Contact the local brokers and just start getting in the business so you can get your feet wet and kind of see what's going on here in the greater Houston area. Start to get familiarized with the greater Houston area and start to find out where are the local sand pits and start to just know your point of contacts in the areas and kind of get a visual for where and how you want to haul this sand. Meaning You know, do I want to haul just in the southern side of the greater Houston area? Or is this something that I want to do and haul from one side of the city to the other? Or do I want to supply landscaping companies? Or do I want to haul for general contractors? Or do I want to haul for subcontractors? Meaning, there's general contractors. I got a video on this. There's subcontractors. And then there's trucking companies that get hired by subs. The sub gets hired by the GC, right? So you got to keep all those things in mind. I hope that helps you. If you have any more questions, feel free, send us another email or send us some comments. Hope you found that valuable. If the sun's shining, I'm grinding. And if I'm grinding and the sun's shining, guess what I'm doing? I'm putting money in my pockets. Because if the cash ain't flowing, you know what? It ain't growing. And if it ain't growing, then it ain't going. And if it ain't going, that means the wheels are not rolling. And what do we do here? We keep the wheels rolling and the cash flowing. I was just playing with you guys, just dropping a little bit of humor into it. A good friend of mine told me that, hey, he goes, man, you should ever thought about doing being a rapper and having a rapping career. So I just figured I'd do that little segment for you because I know you're going to get a kick out of it. All right, guys, so we're going to dive in. The next question coming in is from Stan Smith. It says, my name's Stan. I've been researching to begin my journey to enter the dump truck industry in the Houston area. I came across your YouTube channel. I see that you are well connected and are a resource. So I'm emailing to inquire if you know any companies that are willing to train and hire entry level drivers. I don't have my CDL, but I will soon. All right, so Stan, so you don't have your CDL and you're wanting to know companies that will train and hire drivers. First thing foremost, Stan, I hope you have your CDL by now. This was actually a couple of weeks, a little less than a week, actually about 8-9 days ago when you emailed us. So I hope that you have your CDL. If you don't have it, I hope you're gonna get it here soon. I wish you luck if you don't. However, so first things first, right? Get that CDL, okay? Make sure you have a CDL because guys, if you don't already know to answer others' questions out there, you need a CDL to drive a commercial truck. There's no ifs or buts about it. Guys, once again, you need a CDL to drive a commercial truck. That's why it's called commercial driver's license. I don't want to get off topic, but I do know guys, what I mean by know is I've seen guys out there that have gotten in car accidents, okay, that are driving for owner operators, other guys that own trucks that don't have a CDL. I don't know how those guys that own those trucks hire these guys that don't have a CDL. But guys, you need to have a CDL, okay? Especially in an incident like I saw recently where a guy hit somebody that I know and he was driving a dump truck and he did not have a CDL. Guess what? That guy got in big trouble. Let's just leave it at that. I don't want to get off topic. But yes, you got to have a CDL. So Stan, get your CDL, my brother. And then once you have your CDL, here's what I suggest and what I recommend. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to do the following. All right, if you want to get into the dump truck business and you just got your CDL, yes, a lot of you guys may already know this. It is a little difficult to get right off the back, right, into a big company if you just now have your CDL. Why? Because, yeah, they want one thing, experience, right? They want to make sure that you can go on and drive a dump truck on your own. However, here's the thing. I'm not sure where you're located again, but here's the thing. In the greater Houston area, some of the larger construction companies, they are taking guys that recently have their CDL. Now, I'll be honest with you, I don't want to throw names out there right now because I don't want to give these guys publicity, right? However, there are some of the larger companies here in the greater Houston area that are looking for CDL drivers, okay? And I can't guarantee that because I see their signs all the time when I drive by their yards, okay, or their offices. They're looking for guys. Now, of course, they're going to train you. Now, how much will they pay you? I don't know, right? Because I'm not the one doing the hiring. But yes, you know that you can look up here in Houston. Yes, there's a lot of companies hiring guys that just have their CDL. I know they definitely will train you. Again, as far as pay, I couldn't tell you, right? Because they're the ones doing the hiring. So that's a way for you to get into the door, some of these larger companies, you know. And then, of course, once you know how not only to drive a dump truck, but how the dump truck business works and you get that experience, then you can go on, and maybe work for somebody else. Now, or if you may want to get into eventually, owning your own dump truck. And one of the things I've said before in some of the other videos, I normally suggest at least 6 months or a year if you can, driving a truck for somebody else before you buy your own truck. I just want to make sure I put that out there. Have enough experience to know what you're doing before you invest your own money and drive your own truck. Another suggestion I got for you, Stan, if you just got your CDL, look for those guys that own maybe 2, 3, or 4 trucks, 5 trucks, guys that own a smaller fleet, family owned and operated. Those guys, okay, sometimes are willing to give people like you a chance. How do I know that? I was one of them, okay? I was one of them guys. And one of the things for me, right, if you don't have a lot of experience, okay, Stan, but let's say you approached me and I have a conversation with you, right, in person, and I see that you're a good person, you seem like you're a straightforward guy, you seem like you have, you're a responsible person, and you have your priorities right, I'm willing to give you a chance. Because what matters to me is that you have your priorities right, that you are responsible. Why? Because that means you're going to take care of the truck, and I know that I'm going to be able to count on you. And then what I would do is I would put you in the truck with one of my other guys that already has experience. And I'm going to make sure my other guy teaches you and trains you. And that's why I give you that suggestion. Now, it may be hard for you to find somebody like that right off the back, but you have to go out. And again, I know you've heard me say this, you got to build those connections. Go out there, build some relationships with people. You're probably asking yourself, next thing, well, Jay, how do I find those guys? How do you find them, Stan? I've said this before. You need to go out and go to a pit, go to a plant, an asphalt plant, gravel plant, dirt pit, sand pit. You're going to see owner-operators coming in and out of that place. Take the time, Stan. Stop those guys and be like, hey, man, I don't mean to stop you, but real quick, do you own this truck? Most guys are going to say yes. If they say no, we'll be like, who's the owner? Oh, do you mind? Well, I'm looking for work. That's all you got to tell them at the moment, right? Get their phone number, call them up, start a conversation with them, pick their brains. And that's how you can get to that other point that I was saying earlier, right? Asking for work, and just let them know, hey, look, I'm a hard worker, I'm responsible, and I have my priorities in order. And you'd be surprised how people would be able to give you an opportunity. So I hope that helps, Stan. If you have any more questions or any more comments, feel free to send us comments, send us your email, and we'll be glad to answer your next question. All right, we're going to get to the next question. This question's from Ronald Brown. I recently reached out to you on YouTube when I came across your channel. I have a dump truck. I've been doing this for 10 years. Congratulations, Ronald. 10 years, my brother. Give you props. I know how to get work with brokers and some direct work, but I want to start selling sand and gravel. I don't know where to start. I see a lot of ads on Facebook with people with trucks doing the same thing. I was reaching out to see if you would be able to help me a little. Okay, well, Ronald, first and foremost, like I said, congratulations, my brother. I'm glad you've been in business for 10 years. One of the things I'm going to tell you right off the back, if you're going to sell sand and gravel, do your research, right? And I'm not sure if you have already or not. But what I mean by do your research, find out in your area who needs sand and who needs gravel. Number one. Number two, where can I get the sand and where can I get the gravel? Number three, prices. Call up some of the competitors. And I mean competitors because if that's what you want to do, you got to find out and know what prices, the sand and the gravel is going for. Meaning, if I'm going to be traveling 50 miles, right, with sand or 50 miles with gravel from point A to point B, pick up the phone and make that call and get an idea of what the sand and gravel would go for if you're buying it and you're coming from point A and you would have to travel all the way to point B. So you can kind of figure that out. I know you've been in business for a while now, right? So you can kind of figure that out maybe based on mileage or whatever your formula may be, right? But as far as getting deeper into it and knowing how to go about doing it, so again, what you need to do is you need to find the customers that are going to buy sand and the customers that are going to find gravel. Now, if you're doing this solo and you only have one truck and you're the owner operator of that truck, one suggestion, one way I would start about, selling sand and gravel, okay, is maybe starting with like the landscaping companies, right? Because if you start with a general contractor, that is great. And that's probably where you want to eventually go. However, the general contractor may be wanting you to, provide them with 100, 200, 500, 1,000, 2,000 tons, or maybe even more right off the back. And I know at the beginning, that may be a little difficult for you to do for several reasons, right? But what I would suggest, if you want to kind of dive in and get your feet wet, is find some of those clients in the landscaping business, some of the subcontractors, right? Instead of the general contractors, some subcontractors, right? Find out what are the subcontractors in your area that need these materials, right? And so, for instance, I'm just going to give you an idea. In the greater Houston area, right? Subcontractors that need sand here in the greater Houston area are going to be the contractors that do utilities, pipes, okay? And so they're needing sand out here, right? So I would look for some of those subcontractors, landscaping companies. And I mean, it's going to take some legwork. You're going to have to pick up the phone. You have to call. And you might not be a sales guy, but I'm going to be very sincere with you. You're going to have to be a sales guy, okay? Not just a driver. If you really want to make some money and you really want to sell some sand and some gravel. Now, you can go another way about it, right? You can hire somebody to sell the sand or sell the gravel, right? Meaning somebody just to make that call. I don't know who that may be, but you can hire somebody to pick up the phone and be like, hey, I'm so-and-so, I work for so-and-so, and this is what we provide sand and we provide gravel. Again, being very transparent with you, I would personally make those phone calls myself. Why? Because when you start off, okay, I'm a firm believer that you need to know the business inside out. Yes, you need to know the business inside out. So it's going to be maybe a little difficult, but you need to put on wear that hat, get into the selling business and learn how to sell the sand and the gravel. And then what I would do is maybe hire somebody and you can teach them, right? Hey, this is how you pick up the phone and this is how you call somebody and this is how you offer sand and this is how you offer gravel. Why? Because it'll lead to the following. It'll lead not only for you, it'll lead to you not only just having to worry about transporting the material, they'll be selling it while you're transporting it, but then eventually you can hire other guys to transport the material. So then you can get into the next level, which is, hey, I may be able to transport the material in my truck, but I can hire other guys to also transport the material for me, meaning the material you sell, not just one load or two. If somebody needs 10 loads and they want it all in one day, you may not be able to do 10 loads in one day if you only have one truck. Now, I don't know, you may have multiple trucks, right? But I'm just speaking out loud here, trying to give you some knowledge, right? So guess what? You get other guys, you hire other, your friends or, people that you work with in the 10 years you've been in business. And guess what? You pay them, right? You've already done this on your own for a little while. You know what the going rates are. You start to build clients and you hire them. And now you're able to deliver 10 loads at a time, 15 loads at a time, 20 loads at a time. And that's how you can start growing and scaling your business. I hope you found that helpful. Drop us some more comments, email us, and we'd be more than glad to answer your questions. All right, guys, so we're going to dive into some more questions. We're moving on to the YouTube. My YouTube family, let's see, we have a question from Jorge Cisneros. He says, Jay, I'm trying to buy my first dump truck, tri-axle. I'm an over-the-road driver. I have had my CDL Class A, driving an automatic. I'm trying to find my first truck with an automatic transmission. Can you recommend somewhere in Texas that sells them for about 30 to 35K? Thank you. So you're saying, okay, I'm sitting here, you're saying you're having a hard time finding a dump truck with an automatic transmission, especially in that price range. Okay, so Jorge, here's the thing. And I'm going to talk about my experiences, okay? For the years I've been in business, I'm going to be very straightforward here. And I've mentioned this before in a recent video. I'm not honestly a big fan of automatic transmissions. I know you are because it makes it easier for the driver. It makes it more comfortable for the driver. But I'm going to be honest here. I'm not a fan. Why? Because the dump truck business is different than the over the road. I know a lot of guys over the road business. I almost started doing an over-the-road business years ago, okay? But I didn't. I stuck to dump truck. I did well, and I'm doing very well. So I'm already, my plate is full, and I got my hands full. So here, what I got to tell you is the following. If you get into the dump truck business, one thing you will see, and you can actually ask other guys, so you can see they're probably going to tell you the same thing. Ask guys that are in the dump truck business, that have been in the dump truck business, okay? And they're probably going to tell you something similar. I don't personally recommend an automatic transmission if you're going to be driving a dump truck. Why? Why, Jay, don't you recommend an automatic transmission? Well, the reason why I don't recommend an automatic transmission, okay, I don't know where in Texas you're located. If you're only going to be doing over the road in a dump truck, meaning you're going to be on a hard surface when you load and when you dump, on a paved surface or something hard, a gravel surface, maybe you're good, right? But if you're going to ever go off-road, okay, you know, like into an area that's, you know, a dirt, okay, or, you know, grass or anything that is not what I call a hard surface, a paved surface, whether it's a gravel or an asphalt surface or a concrete surface, believe me, it will make a big difference, okay? I highly recommend a manual transmission. They just have more power, okay? Especially on a heavy duty truck. They have more power. They last longer. Again, this is my personal opinion. I'm telling you this from my experiences, right? Now, if you go back and you talk to some of the old timers, they're going to tell you automatic transmissions were not even a thing back in the day in a heavy duty dump truck. Let me repeat that. Talk to some of the old timers. They're going to tell you it wasn't even a thing. Automatic transmissions just kind of started becoming a thing a few years back. Now, I'm not totally against them. Don't get me wrong. I've heard some positive feedback on the Allison, okay? I know some of the recent newer dump trucks, I've heard some positive feedback on them. I actually have a family member that has a super dump with an Allison, and he didn't have a good experience with it, but he got another truck, and apparently now he's kind of changed his mind on it. So again, all the guys here in the greater Houston area, they all have a manual transmission, especially because here, again, we're doing off-road a lot, okay? We get a lot of rain, right? So it will put a lot of wear and tear on that automatic transmission. In my personal opinion, they just don't hold up as long. They don't have the same kind of power. But I'm being honest with you, that may be one of the reasons why you're having a hard time finding a dump truck with an automatic transmission. There's just probably not a whole bunch of dump trucks out there with an automatic transmission. That's the number one reason, more than likely. The number two reason is probably the price range, right? 30 to 35K, yes, you can find a dump truck out there for that price range. But again, not having a whole bunch of options out there with an automatic transmission, you're probably going to have a bigger option or bigger range in your newer dump trucks. Why? Because most of the dump trucks that do have an automatic transmission, they're some of the newer models, meaning that 30 to 35K is going to kind of be out of your price range. So I hope that you found that valuable. Again, I'm just giving you my feedback from my personal experiences. Jorge, I hope that helped you out, my brother. Feel free to drop a comment and we'll look out for you on the next one. So we're going to go on to the next question. The next question's from M as in Mary, V as in Victor, ASQU25 on the YouTube. I will be a new owner operator this year. The question is it a good time to start my trucking business at this time or should I wait? I have about 100K to start. My brother, first and foremost, I'm glad you got some money. It sounds like you've been saving up. Kudos to you, my friend. Now, is it a good time to start? I'm going to give it to you very simple and straightforward. It's all about the connections you have. And you're going to say, Jay, I've heard that already on some of your videos. Well, I'm going to keep saying it. Do you have connections? Okay. Do you have work? I've had several videos on this. Do you have work lined up? Do you have connections? Meaning relationships. Who do you know? Okay. If you buy the truck tomorrow, can that truck start working that same day? Again, if you buy the truck tomorrow, can the truck start working that same day? If you had to think about it for a second, then just know this. Maybe you don't have enough connections, right? So I'm trying to be very sincere here with you. build the connections, build the relationships, right? Get to know some people. Why? Because if you've got this kind of money saved up, I want you to get a great return on your investment. And you know what that is? First and foremost, you yourself, right? Invest in yourself. But how do you do that? By going out there and building those relationships. Go out there, start networking, talking to those guys. Talk to those owner operators that already been in the business, that are in the dump truck business. Build those connections. Now, with that being said, you may be saying, Che, I already got all those connections. So I'm not going to go so deep into that because you may already have those connections. I don't know your situation. And if you do, okay, and you answered yes to all those questions, then go ahead, my brother. It's all good. Get in the game, okay? But again, I'll reiterate, if you answered yes to those questions, do you have contacts? Do you have connections? Do you have work lined up? If you said yes, 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 go ahead, my brother. Get started. I hope you're finding the value, the content in this value. Keep dropping comments, brother, and I'll try to get to your questions. Hope that helped out. All right, we're going to continue here on the YouTube. Josh Jones. It's hard to get hired because I got tractor trailer experience. Almost makes me want to roll the dice, get my own and learn as I go, but definitely take the approach of asking some owner operators in the Temple, Texas area. The event, June 24th and 25th. I'll go ahead and try to lock the days in. Josh, okay, so I've answered actually like one of your questions before. So Josh, man, appreciate you dropping comments, my brother. And if you're coming out to the greater Houston area and coming out to the event, the 24th and the 25th at the NRG Arena, my brother, look for us. We're going to have a booth there. Come shake my hand, and I'll try to answer some of your questions, man. I definitely look forward to meeting you there. Let's see here. We got Gary Butler. I was tremendously blessed to purchase a dump truck flat out. I bought a Kenworth T800 from a private seller that kept the truck in good condition. Gary, congratulations, my brother. That's a good way to do it. There's nothing wrong with that, man. You don't have to buy a brand new truck, brother. I've said it in one of my other videos. As long as it's in a good condition and it does what it's supposed to do, man, that's what matters. Great job, Gary. Okay, we got Elk ACHINBON Rodriguez. Hey, Jay, I'm a new CDL driver and a subscriber. Love your videos, but for me, it's more than anything. I love the dump truck industry, and I'm learning every day. Thank you. Well, hey, my brother, thank you for subscribing, first and foremost. And if you're watching this video, guys, like and subscribe. I'm trying to do the best that we can here. Me and my main man over here, Kaimar, we're trying to do the best we can to try to get to everybody, okay? So being very transparent with you, I'm taking time off after work, during work, and before work while I run the business to try to get to everybody. So have a little bit of patience with us. Okay, so I'm doing that because I'm really trying to give you guys value, trying to help you guys out. So all I'm asking is subscribe and like if you like the value we're giving you. All right, we got several comments here. Just got a lot of guys here saying thank you. We appreciate it, Jay. Great videos. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for the comments. Thank you for the feedback. Let's see here. We got D7 Mysterio 7. Hey, what's up, my brother? I've seen your comments before, and I think I've replied to some of your questions. Let's see here what we got this time. As always, Jay, great video. I took your advice, did not purchase the Freightliner Cascadia. I got a 2013 Mack 15-foot dump body, 440 HP, 13-speed manual, arrives next Friday. Yes, congratulations, brother. All the blessings to you. I'm very happy for your guidance and direction from this channel. Thank you, thank you. I'll be hauling dirt, gravel from a quarry. Blessings. Blessings to you, my brother. I'm definitely glad to know that we're helping you out. Keep dropping the comments, and obviously we'll try to get to all your questions. All right, great video. This is from Cleveland, FRIPP. Great videos. What are your recommendations to spend on a used truck? I have videos on that, so just watch some of the videos. I think I got 2 videos now on that, and it just depends. So not to get into all the details, but watch the videos. We got your answer on we got a full video on that. Isael Vargas, very good videos, Mancini. Thanks for the information. Preparing for the dump business. I would like to know what dump truck is at a good price? So what you're asking is, what's a good price for a dump truck? Someone just asked that question. Watch the videos, my brother. It just depends, right? It depends. Depends on what your situation is, but I got a full video on that. We got a question here from Isa, Hussein. I think it's Hussein. Thank you for the great info. What's a good mileage for a used Mack truck? So, got a video on that also. What's a good mileage? Mileage can vary, okay? What it boils down to is three things, and I just did a video on this. Is the truck in a good condition, right? Is it in good condition? That's number one. Are you getting it at a good, fair price? That's number two, right? And the last thing I always tell people, okay, most importantly, do you have work for the truck? It could be in good condition, okay? But do you have work for the truck? Because if it's at a good price and it's good condition, but you don't have work for the truck, see where I'm going with this? So make sure those three things, check those three, the check box on all three of those things, okay? But as far as the mileage, it just depends, man. You can have 800,000, 700,000 miles, 900,000 miles. And I'm going to be very straightforward. Some guys might not like this. I'm going to be straight up with you guys. I bought a truck with 1 million miles. You're going to think, Jay, you're crazy. Am I? It worked out for me. I bought a dump truck with 1 million miles when I first started, guys. Yes, 1 million miles. It was a cat. Okay, C15, Peterbilt. Okay, it wasn't even designed really to be a dump truck. It was over the road truck that was converted into a dump truck. But guess what, guys? I had that truck for 10 years. And the only reason why I got rid of it, because it was just time to let it go, you know. But I kept up with the maintenance. I had a good driver, and I had it for 10 years, guys. So it just depends. Now, yes, I had to do an overhaul in those 10 years, but it was 5 years before I did an overhaul on the truck. I actually had about 1,600,000 miles in the truck, ballpark, before I did an overhaul in it. So there you go.